Feeling drained, disconnected, or stuck in survival mode? It's time to take your power back. In today's episode, we're diving into rituals that realign your energy, restore your confidence, and help you reclaim your personal power. Stay with me. Your transformation starts now.
Step into the moment, let the world slow down. Yeah. Take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground. A cup of calm, a sip of peace. Let the worries of the day just start to release. Yeah. Mind, body, spirit in perfect flow. Sip by sip, let the good vibes grow. Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Welcome to ZenCha Studios TranquiliTea Lounge, the podcast, where ancient wisdom meets modern wellness. Join your host, CJ Sugita-Jackson, for daily rituals, holistic insights, and naturopathic strategies to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. So, steep your favorite brew, and let's begin one sip at a time.
Before we dive into specific practices, let's take a moment to understand why rituals are so powerful for reclaiming our sense of agency and control. Anthropologists have long studied the role of rituals in human societies across cultures and throughout history. What they've discovered is fascinating. Rituals serve as anchors that help us navigate transitions, process emotions, and create meaning in our lives. From a neuroscience perspective, rituals activate multiple regions of our brain simultaneously. When we perform ritual actions with intention, our prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive function and decision-making, engages alongside our limbic system, which processes emotions and memory. This creates powerful neural pathways that can actually change our brain structure over time. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who engaged in brief rituals before stress-inducing tasks experienced significantly lower levels of anxiety and performed better than those who didn't. The researchers concluded that rituals provided an increased sense of control, which directly translates to reduced stress and enhanced performance. Another fascinating study from Harvard Business School discovered that ritual behaviors help us savor experiences more fully. When participants performed simple rituals before eating chocolate, they reported enjoying it more and were willing to pay more for it. Imagine applying that enhanced enjoyment to areas of your life where you feel disconnected or depleted. But here's what I find most compelling. Rituals work even when we don't necessarily believe in them. The act of intentional practice itself creates shifts in our psychology and physiology that benefit us regardless of our skepticism. That's because rituals externalize our internal states, giving tangible form to our intentions and values. So as we explore these 7 ritual practices today, I invite you to approach them with an open mind and heart. You don't need to believe in anything mystical for these practices to work. Though, if spirituality is part of your path, these rituals certainly welcome that dimension too. What matters most is your willingness to show up consistently and engage fully in the process. Now, let's get practical and explore our first ritual for reclaiming your mental power.
Tranquility Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. the warm sun rays.
Our minds are incredible tools, but in today's information-saturated world, they often become cluttered landscapes of competing thoughts, worries, and endless to-do lists. The mental clarity ritual I'm about to share has been transformative for me and countless clients at ZenCha Studios. I call it Power Pages, and it requires just 10 minutes each morning, a notebook, and a pen. Here's how it works. Before you check your phone or open your email, sit in a comfortable position with your notebook. Take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. Then set a timer for 10 minutes and write continuously without lifting your pen from the page. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, or even making sense. This is a brain dump, not a literary masterpiece. The magic happens in the uncensored flow of thoughts from mind to page. You're creating space by externally processing whatever is occupying your mental bandwidth. Research from the University of Toronto has shown that this kind of expressive writing can free cognitive resources and improve working memory. Here's where the power element comes in. After your time is up, read through what you've written and circle or highlight anything that represents a clear action you need to take, a boundary you need to set, or a decision you've been avoiding. On a fresh page, transfer these circled items and transform them into power statements. For example, if you wrote, "I'm feeling overwhelmed about the Smith project deadline," your power statement might be, "I choose to break the Smith project into 3 manageable steps today." The transformation from vague concerns to clear, actionable choices is where you begin proclaiming and reclaiming your mental power. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has discussed how this process of externalization and reframing activates the brain's executive function networks and reduces activity in the areas associated with rumination and anxiety. Many clients tell me they're experiencing a tangible sense of relief after just one session of Power Pages. But the cumulative effect is even more remarkable. When practiced consistently for 30 days, people report significantly higher levels of mental clarity, decreased anxiety, and improved decision-making ability. I recommend keeping your Power Pages notebook separate from other journals or planners. This creates a dedicated container for this ritual. Some people prefer to burn or tear up the pages after extracting their power statements, symbolically releasing what no longer serves them. Others prefer to keep the pages to track their progress over time. There's no right or wrong approach. What matters is finding what feels most empowering to you. Remember, mental clarity isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating space to hear your own wisdom above the noise. This simple ritual helps you reclaim your power to choose where you direct your precious mental energy.
TranquiliTea Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Now let's move from the mental realm into the physical body, where so much of our power and energy is either expressed or suppressed. How we physically carry ourselves directly impacts how we feel and how others perceive us. Research in embodied cognition shows that our posture and movement patterns affect our hormone levels, emotional states, and even our thoughts. Amy Cuddy's famous work on power posing demonstrated that adopting expansive physical postures for just 2 minutes can increase testosterone associated with confidence and decrease cortisol associated with stress. The ritual I'm sharing next is called the Sovereign Stance, and it's designed to be practiced both as a dedicated morning ritual and as a reset throughout your day whenever you need to reclaim your physical power. Here's how to practice it. Begin by standing with your feet hip-width apart, feeling the solid connection between your feet and the earth. Imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet deep into the ground, anchoring you firmly. Roll your shoulders back and down, creating space across your collarbones. Let your arms hang naturally at your sides, palms facing forward in a gesture of openness and receptivity. Lengthen your spine, imagining a golden thread gently pulling the crown of your head toward the sky. This creates a natural alignment that allows energy to flow freely through your body. Now place one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower belly. Take 3 deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. With each exhale, release any tension you're holding in your body. The final step is to speak your sovereignty statement aloud. Mine is simple. I am present. I am powerful. I choose. Create a statement that resonates with you, though. That's the most important thing. This entire ritual takes less than 2 minutes, but the impact is profound. From a physiological perspective, this stance activates your psoas muscle, often called the muscle of the soul, which plays a crucial role in our fight or flight response. When we consciously release tension in this area, we signal to our nervous system that we are safe and in control. I recommend practicing the sovereign stance first thing in the morning, perhaps right after your Power Pages ritual. Then set reminders to briefly return to this posture before important meetings, difficult conversations, or whenever you notice yourself physically contracting or shrinking. One client, a surgeon who struggled with imposter syndrome, reported that practicing the sovereign stance before entering the operating room transformed her confidence and command of the space. Another, who was an entrepreneur preparing for investor pitches, found that this simple physical ritual helped him access a natural authority that made his presentations more compelling. Remember that reclaiming your power isn't about dominating or controlling others. It's about being fully present and expressed in your own body. The sovereign stance helps you embody the truth that you belong exactly where you are, taking up exactly the space you need.
TranquiliTea Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Emotions are the language of our soul. Yet so many of us have been conditioned to suppress, ignore, or rationalize our feelings rather than truly experiencing them. This emotional avoidance actually drains our power, as it requires constant energy to keep these feelings at bay. The ritual I'm sharing next is called the Feeling Fire, and it's designed to help you reclaim your emotional power through the conscious processing and transformation of difficult emotions. For this ritual, you'll need a candle, a small piece of paper, and a pen. I recommend practicing this in the evening, perhaps as part of your wind-down routine. Begin by finding a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Light your candle, take a few deep breaths, and set the intention to create a safe container for emotional exploration. Now close your eyes and scan your body, noticing where you might be holding emotional tension. Is there tightness in your throat, heaviness in your chest, butterflies in your stomach? Simply observe these sensations without judgment. Ask yourself, what emotion am I experiencing right now that I haven't fully acknowledged? Trust whatever arises. It might be anger, grief, fear, disappointment, or something else entirely. Open your eyes and write this emotion on your piece of paper. Beneath it, write down the message this emotion has for you. For example, if you identified anger, the message might be that a boundary has been crossed. If you identified sadness, the message might be that something meaningful needs to be honored or released. Here's where the alchemy happens. Under the message, write down what this emotion is asking you to do to reclaim your power. Anger might ask you to speak up clearly about your needs. Grief might ask you to create a ritual of remembrance or closure. Once you've written these three elements, the emotion, its message, and its request, fold the paper and hold it to your heart. Thank the emotion for the wisdom. Then safely light one corner of the paper from your candle flame and place it in a fireproof dish to burn completely. As it burns, visualize the emotion being transformed from something heavy you're carrying into clear guidance and empowered action. If burning the paper isn't practical for you, you can tear it into tiny pieces or dissolve it in water instead. The symbolic release is what matters here. Psychologists call this process emotional differentiation, the ability to identify and distinguish between specific emotional states. Research shows that people with higher emotional differentiation skills experience greater emotional resilience and well-being. What makes this ritual particularly powerful is that it honors emotions as messengers rather than problems to be solved. When we approach our feelings with curiosity rather than resistance, we reclaim the energy that would otherwise be spent on suppression. One executive I worked with was surprised to discover through this ritual that her persistent anxiety was actually a message about needing more creative expression in her life. By honoring this message and taking action, she not only reduced her anxiety, but also brought a new, innovative energy to her leadership. Remember, emotional power isn't about never feeling difficult emotions. It's about having the capacity to feel everything fully and move through emotional states with presence and wisdom.
Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Regardless of your specific spiritual beliefs, connecting with something larger than yourself, whether you call it God, universe, nature, higher self, or something else entirely, provides a profound source of power and perspective. The ritual I'm sharing next is called Sacred Sunrise, and it's designed to help you reclaim your spiritual power through intentional connection with the natural world and your inner wisdom. This ritual is ideally practiced at dawn, but if that's not possible with your schedule, you can adapt it to any time of the day when you can witness the sky. Sunset works beautifully too. Begin by finding a spot where you can see the horizon, preferably outdoors. This could be your backyard, a nearby park, or even just a window with a view of the sky. Arrive a few minutes before the sun is due to arise. Stand or sit in a comfortable position and take several deep breaths, feeling your connection to the earth beneath you and the vast sky above you. As you wait for the sun to appear, bring your awareness to this powerful transition from darkness to light that has occurred every day for billions of years. When you see the first rays of sunlight, place your hands in a prayer position at your heart center. Close your eyes and silently or aloud recite this invocation or create your own that feels authentic to you. As this new day arises, I open myself to divine guidance and universal wisdom. I reclaim my connection to the source of all life. I am a vessel for light, truth, and purpose. Then, keeping your eyes closed, ask a single question that you're seeking guidance on. It could be about a decision you're facing, a relationship challenge, or a deep question about your path or purpose. After asking, remain in receptive silence for at least 1 minute, allowing space for insight to arise. Finally, open your eyes and spend a few moments gazing at the sunrise, absorbing its energy and light. Before concluding the ritual, express gratitude for this moment of connection. The power of this ritual lies in its alignment with circadian rhythms, the natural cycles that govern nearly every living thing on our planet. Neuroscience research has shown that morning light exposure not only regulates our sleep-wake cycle, but also influences mood, cognitive function, and hormonal balance. From a spiritual perspective, dawn has been considered a sacred time across cultures throughout history. The liminal space between night and day represents potential transition and renewal, a perfect metaphor for our own capacity to transform and evolve. One client who implemented this ritual during a major career transition reported receiving unexpected clarity about her next steps. Another found that regular practice helped him maintain perspective during a challenging family situation. Many report that even on days when no specific insight arises during the ritual itself, solutions or guidance often emerge later in the day, as if the question continues working in the background of the consciousness. If dawn isn't accessible to you, remember that the essence of this ritual is creating sacred time for connection and receptivity. You might adapt it to connect with moonlight, starlight, or simply the quiet of your own breath. Spiritual power isn't about controlling outcomes through force of will. It's about remembering your place in the larger web of life and aligning with currents of wisdom that are always available when we create space to receive them.
TranquiliTea Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
Our work lives often present some of the greatest challenges to our sense of personal power. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a corporate professional, or creating your own unique career path, maintaining clear boundaries and intentions focus is essential for reclaiming your power in the professional realm. The ritual I'm sharing next is called the Boundary Bell, and it's designed to help you create sacred containers for your work, enhance your productivity, and protect your energy. For this ritual, you'll need a small bell or chime. If you don't have one, you can use a timer with a gentle sound or even a meditation app on your phone. The Boundary Bell ritual has 3 components: opening, transitioning, and closing your workday. To open your workday, find a quiet moment before you begin your tasks. Ring your bell 3 times, allowing the sound to fully dissipate before the next ring. After the 3rd ring, state your professional intention for the day. This isn't a to-do list, but rather a quality or energy you wish to bring to your work. For example, today I bring creative solutions to challenges. Or, today I communicate with clarity and compassion. Throughout your day, use the Boundary Bell for transitions between different types of work. Before checking email, ring the bell once, and take 3 conscious breaths. Before a meeting, ring the bell once and set a specific intention for that interaction. This micro ritual helps prevent the automatic switching between tasks that often leaves us feeling scattered and depleted. To close your workday, ring the bell 3 times again. After the final ring, place your hands on your workspace and say, "I complete this day's work with appreciation for what was accomplished. I release any unfinished tasks until tomorrow. I reclaim my personal time and energy now. This ritual might seem simple, but its impact on professional power is profound. Research on the psychology of rituals in the workplace has shown that these kinds of symbolic practices increase perceived control and reduce anxiety about performance. The boundary bell works on multiple levels. Neurologically, the sound of the bell interrupts automatic patterns and brings us into present moment awareness. Psychologically, it reinforces our agency in choosing how we direct our attention and energy. And practically, it creates micro moments of mindfulness that prevent the workday from becoming an undifferentiated blur. A client who runs a consulting firm implemented this ritual with her team using a beautiful Tibetan singing bowl in their office. She reported not only improved focus during work hours, but also a significant reduction in after-hour work emails as everyone became more intentional about respecting the boundaries between work and personal time. Another client, a physician working in a busy hospital, adapted this ritual by keeping a small chime in her pocket. Even in her fast-paced environment, she found that taking 3 seconds to touch the chime before entering a patient's room helped her reset and be fully present for each encounter. If you work in an environment where using an audible bell isn't practical, you can create silent version of this ritual using touch or visualization instead. The key is creating a consistent sensory cue that signals the transition between different modes of attention. Professional power isn't about pushing harder or doing more. It's about being intentional with your energy and creating containers that allow your best work to emerge while preserving your well-being.
TranquiliTea Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
We've explored 6 powerful rituals for reclaiming different aspects of your personal power. Now, let's bring everything together with an integration ritual that honors your holistic nature and the journey you're on. The final ritual I want to share is called the Power Pilgrimage, and it's designed to be practiced once a month as a way to acknowledge your growth and recommit to your path of empowerment. For this ritual, you'll need to identify a physical location that represents power and renewal for you. This could be a particular trail in nature, a meaningful building in your city, a body of water, or even a special corner of your home or garden. The important thing is that it feels significant to you personally. On your chosen day, perhaps the new moon, the last Sunday of the month, or another meaningful marker, set aside 30 to 60 minutes for your power pilgrimage. Begin by journaling briefly about the areas where you've reclaimed power over the past month and areas where you still feel called to grow. Then, travel to your chosen location, bringing mindful awareness to the journey itself. As you move toward your destination, reflect on the metaphorical journey you're on in reclaiming your full power and potential. When you arrive at your power place, find a comfortable spot to sit, take several deep breaths, feeling your connection to this particular place. Then speak aloud these 5 statements of sovereignty, or you can create your own that resonate with you more deeply. Number 1, I reclaim my power to think clearly and choose consciously. 2, I reclaim my power to inhabit my body with dignity and presence. Number 3, I reclaim my power to feel fully and transform emotions into wisdom. Number 4, I reclaim my power to connect with divine guidance and purpose. Number 5, I reclaim my power to create boundaries that honor my energy and gifts. After speaking each statement, Pause to feel it resonating throughout your entire body. Notice any resistance or expansion. Complete your pilgrimage by collecting a small token from this place, a stone, leaf, or simply a photo to place in your home or workspace as a reminder of your commitment to this path. Before leaving, express gratitude to the place itself for holding space for your ritual. I personally will leave a penny or something else behind as a gratitude gift. The power pilgrimage works on multiple levels. Symbolically, the physical journey reinforces the internal journey you're undertaking. Psychologically, it provides a regular opportunity to reflect on progress and reset intentions. And neurologically, combining movements with reflection activates multiple brain regions, strengthening the neural pathways associated with your empowerment practices. One client, a writer who had been struggling with creative blocks, chose a specific bench in her local botanical garden for her specific monthly power pilgrimage. She reported that this ritual not only helped her track her growth over time, but also became a source of inspiration for her work, as new ideas often emerged during these pilgrimages. Another client who travels frequently for business adapted this ritual by identifying power places in each city he was visiting regularly, creating a global map of his journey towards greater sovereignty and presence. Remember that reclaiming your power is not a destination, but a continual practice of remembering who you truly are and what you're capable of. The rituals we've explored today are just doorways into that remembering. And the more frequently and intentionally you step through them, the more naturally your power will flow in all areas of life.
TranquiliTea Lounge, where the soul unwinds. A taste of wellness, one steep at a time. From herbal blends to mindful days. Find your balance in the warm sun rays.
As we come to the close of our first episode of TranquiliTea Lounge, I want to thank you for joining me on this exploration of rituals for reclaiming your power. I hope you feel inspired to integrate at least one of these practices into your daily life. Remember that consistency matters more than perfection. Start with the ritual that speaks most directly to where you feel disempowered right now, and allow yourself to grow into the others over time. I would love to hear which rituals resonate most with you and how they transform your experience. You can connect with me and the ZenCha Studios community on our website or social media channels, which you'll find in the episode description. Thursday, we'll be exploring the theme of astral herbalism, zodiac gardens. I hope you'll join me for that particular conversation. Until then, may you walk in the fullness of your power, presence, and purpose. I'm CJ Sugita-Jackson with ZenCha Studios TranquiliTea Lounge.
Thank you for joining CJ in today's episode of ZenCha Studios TranquiliTea Lounge podcast. Connect with our ZenCha Studios community on Facebook, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, YouTube, or on our website. The information in this episode is not meant to be used as medical advice. Please seek professional guidance with your health needs. This episode of TranquiliTea Lounge podcast is copyright by CJ Sugita-Jackson and ZenCha Studios. All rights reserved.